So welcome everyone to Katarina and Oskar. And today we're going to talk about thriving on the tube. Well, the tube in your country may be the metro, the underground, but it's a place people don't really want to be. And we don't get to choose who joins us on the tube and who doesn't. And Oskar and I are going to be very honest about how we are on the tube and how we can actually thrive on the tube. So I'm Katarina Hanssens Carlsson, CEO of Destiny International 11, and I'm about thriving in your entrepreneurial journey. And I'm also the founder of Global Leadership Schools and teachershero.world, changing schools. So, Oskar, would you like to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. So I'm Oskar Nygren. I'm an emotional fitness coach and I run a community that's called Live Your Purpose. I also have a website that's called realitydecoding.com. And I'm all about thriving, healing, and truth. And that is what I help people find in their life so they can, well, get on and essentially find a way of enjoying life to the fullest.
Beautiful. So, Oskar, you actually started this conversation with me this morning. I just asked how you were. And what I love about you is that you take this question really seriously and you go within and you ponder. I asked you how you've been this week because we meet every week. And you talked about, being on the underground, being in a social setting. So would you like to explain to our viewers how you feel in a social situation and how you find freedom?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, being a very sensitive person that I've come to understand during the years, I pick up on the subtleties of people, and especially being in Sweden, in a tube or in a commuter train, not many people are talking with one another. We're looking at our phones and so forth. But that does not mean that we're not interested in talking with others, right? There might be this idea that, oh, you know what? I would love to pass my time having a lovely conversation with someone that I enjoy or I'm attracted to. But I do not dare to do it because of the whole idea of what other people are going to think or what they're going to do. I'm
interrupt
yes.
you just 1 minute. And is that anything to do with gender? I mean, that you don't feel that you can talk to an attractive woman, or is it that you feel it's the same for men or for women?
Well, it depends. I think it's different for men and women because as a man, for instance, there's this idea that you as the man are the one who engages and look confident and are able to like take care of the situation, in the sense of when you're approaching a woman, right? When we're talking that someone is attractive, you're interested in them, you want to talk to them. So I think for a man it's more of the engagement. I don't know if it's the same for a woman. Maybe for a woman it's the capability of just being able to have an eye contact and not feeling that you're threatened, that you can actually, that you can invite someone just with your eyes or with a smile, or just this capability of like, if someone is coming to me, I do not have to tense up, right? I can be inviting, yet at the same time I can maintain boundaries. So I think that is the difference. Like maybe for the man is the capability of engaging, but in a very aware way. And for the woman, is they able to, maybe the ability to opening up and not being tense and fearful of what is going to happen. That's my understanding of it. What is yours?
Well, I'm a little hesitant. Even if I see a man on the tube and I'm attracted to him, I don't usually start a conversation. Because that's like, it's to do with social etiquette as well.
Yeah.
But if the conversation starts naturally, for example, I like to sit at the back of a bus near the heater, right? And
Yeah.
somebody turn around and say, that's the best place, you know, then we can start a conversation because he started it. Or if somebody has skates and I'm going, and I love skating, I will start a conversation. I started a conversation with a woman the other day. So it's not so that there's a little bit of hesitancy with a man because I think, well, he'll think I'm kind of after him. But I'd rather, in Scandinavia, I have to say I hold back more
Yeah,
than I
exactly.
did in California.
Yeah.
In California, I would just talk to them
Yeah.
anytime. They would talk
Yeah.
to me.
And isn't that interesting, by the way, that I hear this, like, oh, maybe he will think that I'm after him. Like, that exactly these things is what going through my mind, right? Because we have this idea, what does that do, right? What happens if he starts thinking that you're after him? Right? What happens? What is the problem with that? I'm just so curious.
Yeah, there's not a problem. It all depends on where you're coming from and where he's coming from, for example, because we talked before. If I'm coming from a very clear space and I see the divine in him and he sees the divine in me, there is no problem whatsoever. But however, we have an inner saboteur. So my inner saboteur would think, well, I don't want him to think I'm after him because that's coming from my inner saboteur. Because I've already judged him, right? You know, he hasn't even said anything. He just...
No.
So, so what I do is I shift and I do what I can to fill myself with love and then see him as divine.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean to say I have to talk to him or have eye contact or smile. I may do, I may not. In Scandinavia, I would do what feels natural for me.
Yeah.
Feels okay for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. In California, I may approach him. I may say hi.
Yeah.
Doesn't say hi back. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. So it's so interesting, right? That we're adapting ourselves depending on what field. I would always call that there's a field around us that we as human beings are tapping into, right? The collective field of the country is felt, right? Especially on these situations, for instance, in Sweden with the commuter train or the subway or whatever, there's an underlying code of ethics that is somehow perpetuated in this type of field. Whilst if you go to India, you know, someone might come and sit on your lap, or in US, as you're saying, just people start telling their life story to you and you're just like, oh, that's engaging, it's fascinating, right? So it's these ideas. But from my point of view, when I'm on this commuter train or I'm in this type of situation, I'm always looking at that. Well, why do I have to agree with the ethics of that field? Because in essence, if I agree this, like, oh, that is socially acceptable, then it means that who created that rule, right? Is that the rule in my head, or is it the rule of the society? And first of all, do I feel free if I'm agreeing to that rule?
Very good questions. Very good questions. So back to the topic of thriving on the tube. How can we actually do it? So as I said before, what I do is I fill myself with love. How do I do that? I acknowledge myself for what I've accomplished in the week, or I forgive myself for not. I tell myself that I'm divine. And then when I judge somebody, I may judge somebody for being overweight or whatever, we all do it. But when I'm aware of that, I go, okay, so this is a overweight divine person. And then the overweight doesn't have so much so much value anymore, but the divine does. And I say, okay, can I see the divine in that person? Yes. And that one? Yes. Okay. So I challenge myself to do that every single time. When I walk on the street, I have eye contact with every single person who passes me, or as many as I can. I mean, if I'm in the middle of town and 10 people are passing, that's not possible. At least one person at a time. And it's amazing how they may look back. And I often smile at people. On the island I live on, more and more people smile at me. Right in town, in the center of town, it's almost like another urgency. It's another social consciousness. And people are like, don't look at me. I don't want contact with you. I have a place to go and I'm just going. And I understand that. Same in London, New York, all big cities. So I fill myself with love. I see as much as I can of the divine in someone. And then I feel at peace with them. I make eye contact and I smile if they make eye contact. And then I fly.
Yeah, beautiful. So essentially what you're doing is you're looking for the gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
God,
so
the gold.
That's a very, very beautiful technique. Well, for me, I somehow when I come into these situations, I always look at where is the most possible freedom, because obviously I can go and approach anyone in any way, but for me it is the naturalness of doing it. And for some people it's like, oh, you know what, being able to do that, just engaging with people, well, I don't have to think about all of these things, I'm just gonna do it, right? But for me it's more of where is the freedom really, right? Well, the freedom is in the now. The freedom is here and now. And then I'm always looking at, well, what is it that's taking me away from that freedom? And then I always look at myself. It's like I split my personality, right? So I look at, oh, okay, what is it that Oscar is thinking? That's what Oscar is thinking. This is what society is thinking, right? This is what the saboteur in Oscar is thinking. And this is what God, divinity, beauty, whatever is thinking, right? And the interesting thing is that when I'm connecting to that, now this is maybe when I'm sitting on a seat on the subway, right? And I'm about to do my practice, maybe I'm going to approach someone, but I'm sitting there, I'm looking, it's like, okay, I'm thinking, it's like, oh, people are gonna be angry at me. And then I'm looking at society saying, oh yeah, don't talk to people on the train, that's strange, right? And then the saboteur is saying, like, who do you think you are? Do you really think you have anything at all to come up with, right? You should just sit down, be quiet, no one likes you, go away, right? Something like that. And just noticing those thoughts becomes then you become distant from them, right? Then you're recognizing the fact that, oh, that's not really who I am. And then you start looking for, what is God saying? Well, and then God might say, you know what, imagine the gift that you're giving someone else when you're truly seeing them, when you're just stopping there, when you're putting your attention there, regardless of what, you can actually make someone's day. And there's kindness in people. All your ideas around this might actually just be your own way of sabotaging your own idea of thinking, right? When you come from a place of looking for the gold, other people will look in the gold for you. So just becoming aware of that disparity, and then for the fact, understand that it is okay to express an emotion regardless of what that emotion is. Because we have an idea that, oh, I'm supposed to be so very much confident when I'm walking up to a person. Instead of maybe the confidence might be showing the weakness. It's like, look, I just stand over there and then I saw you and I felt so incredibly nervous because you're very beautiful. And I'm jittery just speaking to you, but I love being able to do that because, yeah, I'm attracted to you. And allowing yourself to truly speak what is going on, right? And then embracing what will come back. And this is a little bit of a test of being able to embrace tension, right? Because when we're going into that and we're being very upfront and honest, it is an enormous, powerful energy that is created between me and the other person, right? And to be able to stand there in the ground, sometimes you might not be able to do it, but the fact is that is the beauty of life showing itself exactly at that moment when we're able to thrive with that tension. Because otherwise, normally life is very, not flat, but maybe in neutral. But this spices things up. And if you're able to be in that spice, well, magic can happen.
Fantastic. It takes a lot of courage to be that vulnerable and to be authentic. But I'll tell you what, as a woman, we love it. I would love someone to come up and say to me just what you said.
Yeah.
Just love it. And whether I'm attracted to them or not, doesn't matter.
No.
I would just say, thank you so much. You've really made my day.
Exactly.
So maybe it's time we were more authentic with ourselves and authentic with others. So we have a challenge for all Scandinavians for maybe if you're in Germany or you feel that you're holding back in public. I'm not saying you jump on people's laps. That's perhaps not very appropriate, but what I'm saying is have eye contact and smile. And be in touch with yourself, be authentic, just like Oscar is, just like I am, and connect with them, see the divine, or if you don't believe in the divine, maybe the life force in them, that each and every one of us is a human being with a lot to offer, and just see them as that. So that's the challenge for 7 days. Take it on. And Oscar, how do people reach you?
Well, people can reach me by going to my website, realitydecoding.com, and then we can have a 30-minute conversation where they are in life and what they're struggling with, and basically how we can make life much more enjoyable. And they can also find me in my Facebook community, Live Your Purpose. Just search for that on Facebook, and on YouTube as Oscar Nygren, just like my name is spelled, where I post videos about philosophy and psychology and thriving and all of these things that is going underneath the surface, right? So that's where people can find me.
Thank you, Oscar. And for me, the best place is LinkedIn at Katarina Hanssens Carlsson. And so if you're stuck as an entrepreneur or you want to find your entrepreneurial journey, we can do that. We can find your identity, your purpose, your sabotage strategy turned around, and your compelling vision in a one-day consultation. So if you want a free consultation with me for 15 minutes, connect with me on LinkedIn. So thank you everyone for viewing. I've really enjoyed the interaction with you, Oscar. Thank you so much. And we will see you again next week.
See you guys. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it too.
Thank you. See you soon.
See you soon.